Hello everyone, welcome again. This is Ishita welcoming you all to the online talk show Let's Talk, Let's Connect and Third International Youth Summit. So here we are with the second impact session of the Youth Summit. And the topic will be on Unleash Your Potentials. We may believe it or not, we all are born with special talents. Some may agree, some may not. But unleashing your potentials, that means where we are now or where we want to reach. That's what the thing. Here we are already with our two special guests. Already we can see in the screen Pallas Cotter from New Zealand and our another guest, Mr. Don Samdani, he will from Bangladesh. He will join very soon. So sometimes we may think that what is holding us back from our life. So here we go, viewers. That our guests are here to answer your question and help you out how you can reach to your potential and achieve your success. So let's welcome our guest. First, I will request Pallas to say a few words about yourself and about your work, please.
Thank you so much, Sanatam. I am very happy to be here tonight, very excited. I am living in New Zealand on the South Island. I'm originally from the United States, and when I lived there, I was a television news anchor. So I spent a lot of time learning about other people and finding out their stories and trying to help them tell their stories. When I moved to New Zealand, I changed what I did and I became a public speaker and a mentor and a coach. And my mission now is to help people be able to really be able to say who they are, what they do, why they do what they do, and really what sets them apart from other people. So the aim, of course, is that you have a unique selling proposition, but it's more than that. It's more than just selling yourself. It's about leading an extraordinary life, or a life that pops with passion, purpose, and personality. So I'm excited to speak with you today and share my process to help you lead a life that pops.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I can see that already lots of audience are with us. So before going to Mr. Ahmed, I just want to say once again, thanks a lot. And I just want to acknowledge few names. So I can see Mr. Manik, Ifat, Alamgir, Rumana, Afrin Zahan, Shruti, then again Romana Papri, and Asanul Haq, Mridul, then Adamu and Ifat Rumana are with us, and more people are joining. So thank you, viewers. Please stay with us. And again, I will request you all to share the video in your timeline so that not only you, your friends can enjoy as well and they can learn new skills. And
Exactly.
definitely drop your question in the comment box. Our guests are here to answer your questions. So let's go to Mr. Ahmed. Ahmed, please, can you say a few words about today's topic?
Thank you, Ishita. And thank you all the viewers and especially my good friend, Pallas. Woohoo! Again, you're supposed to take my interview, right, in New Zealand, but now I'm taking your. It's just opposite, right?
It
Yeah.
worked.
Thank you so much. Dear audience, she is a fantastic presenter, trainer, and my good friend. I'm sure that her program, POPs, is actually a very popular popular training program that you can explore your potentials. And I'm very much delighted to welcome you all to have our second impact session. We're not just saying this is a technical session or this is this and that. We say this is an impact session because from each and every session, we want to create the impact on you. And as we have the very good impact in the first session, I'm sure that this session will also help you to have the impact. Just before starting that, I used to say these words in my training session. I forget for many days. I didn't, at least for a few years, I never said this thing. I would like to add this thing again. The difference between success and failure is very small, but the impact is huge, isn't that? So if you see that all the big cricket match or football match or rugby match, or you see that very tiny difference, they just win. But that makes a huge difference. People usually remember only the champions. They don't care about the runner-up. They don't care who achieved the second runner-up or the other place. They always look for the champions. So to become your champion, you have to unleash your potential. And what I believe in, each and everyone has the potential. And I'm always telling my story because I struggle very for my eighth grade. I always last bench, backbencher, and my family, my mom actually don't believe that I could be a successful person. She always said I'm just good for nothing. And but I at the grade 9, I become the first in the class. So then I ask myself, where is that potential comes? It is not given by the alien. Definitely, it's inside me, and that is what I'm saying to everyone who are watching this show or this videos and the feed. I'm telling you, you all are successful. You have to believe yourself. You are successful, and then you can find out the solution. So back to our guest and Ishita. Carry on, please. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
sure. Thank you, Ahmed. So we can see that our special guest here today. So first of all, I would like to start with Pallas. That I want to just ask you something. Like especially the young people and even me as well. I have something in my mind, but sometimes we are scared. Should I do that or shouldn't I? Sometimes family are saying, no, don't go for that. It's not good for you. But in my feeling, no, I'm really passionate about that. I really want to do that. So different challenges come. So in that case, like how could we go forward?
Well, and actually what you're saying, Ashita, touches on a point that Ahmed made, and that is his mother said, you're not good at that. And he listened to it for a while, but there was something inside, there was a voice inside that said, no, I think I can do this. And the voice, that voice is a very small voice, and sometimes it just whispers. And the really loud voice that you hear is the voice of fear. And the voice that's parroting all the things that you might hear from other people who may be saying this about you because they look at you one way, but they don't see your strengths. Or maybe they are afraid that you might fail. And another point that Ahmed made was failure. I actually believe that you have to fail. It's good to fail because we can only get stronger and we can only learn by failing. So to your question, if you think you want to do something and people are saying no, take a look at what's happening. Who is speaking out of fear? And is that loud voice of fear louder than that little belief in yourself? And then follow that small voice of belief that says, I'm going to try this. Why not try? And then see how it works. If it if you fail, and we can talk a little bit more about that in a moment, that's okay. That's part of the journey because you learn. So you're good. You're good to go even after that failure because you just go in another direction.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you. Such a nice way. She said that, like, yes, those kind of thing can come, but it's for a like short time or temporary. We may have to face those, but in a long run, we should go with that. So Ahmed, will you add something in that point?
Let's do my popular exercise that I always want everyone to do that. Can you just raise your right hand, everyone, even Pallas and everyone. So when I say 1, 2, 3, you give your 100% pressure on his hand. So for a few seconds, I'll just ask you to hold it for a few seconds. And when you open, you see either it's a red or white. You have to see yourself, red or white. So I'll tell you what will going to happen if it is red or what will happen if it is white. Is that okay with you? Everyone, for a few seconds, we all try. At viewers who are at home, just do it with us. Just hold your hand for a few seconds, I'll say. For a few seconds, you just hold your hand, make a fist for a few seconds and open, okay? So give your 100%. Okay, now ready, start. 1, 2, again, 100%. Give your 100% energy, okay? 1, 2, 3, come on. For a few seconds, hold it for with hundreds, hundreds, yeah. 100% energy, hold it. Okay, now just squeeze more, little bit more, try to little bit more. Yeah, okay, just release and see. Okay. Okay, what happened? Pallas, what happened to your hands? Red or white?
Both. part white, part red.
Yeah, initially my one is red. Ishita, what's happened to you?
Initially it was red, now getting white.
Okay, dear audience, can you just write down what's happened to you, please? Red or white, quickly.
Yes, we're expecting your answer in the comment box. Was your hand red or white?
Yeah, from Thailand. We have from Thailand, Uganda, Bangladesh, Nepal. What other country you have?
Much more people are joining.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so Pallas, just when I say give your 100% and make a fist, okay, and when I and I just say like little bit squeeze more. Can you do it? Can you able to do it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
Yeah. Yes.
Now what?
So my idea was I asked to give your 100%. How could you have more energy to squeeze more?
How can you have more energy?
Yes.
You have to think that you think you've reached a limit, and then you realize there's more in you. That if you push past that limit, that's the most important part. When you push past that limit.
Exactly. So people think this is my 100%, but I say, okay, give just more squeeze, and they made it. So they don't know that the last bit they actually skip every time. To become successful, people give 90% or sometimes they give 99% effort, but miss just one tiny 1%. And that makes the difference.
Yes.
It's a very good exercise. May I borrow it and use it sometime?
Yes, please. That will be that is, yeah. So people have to understand that everyone has the potential and they have to believe themselves and give their 100%. Like you are watching this video and then suddenly you thought, okay, I watched 15 minutes. That's enough for me. Let's go and do other things. And you leave, so you miss the most important thing later on.
Yeah,
Pallas, I'm just taking your time. So
no, it's exactly right. And you've both, you and Ishita have both said that. You said essentially it's that fear or that self-limiting story, because we tell ourselves stories that we've learned from wherever, that's our maximum. And when we can learn to push just that little bit past, it's as if nothing else counts. It's just that little extra bit, because that's where you grow stronger and that's where you learn. So you're absolutely right.
Exactly. Thank you so much. It was really nice. Okay, so now I'm gonna jump to the question. The first question, it's from Nadimul Islam Milon. He asked that, what's the difference between successful and potential? How can we become a successful person and a potential in the society or country? So I would
Pallas.
like to start with the Pallas.
So my understanding of this question is, how do we achieve our own potential? Or is it different from how do we become successful? And it's a very challenging question, because what I teach, and if you watch the program that I've submitted to this wonderful summit, I teach you how to look at what you do best and what you love to do. And it's a combination of what you do best and what you love to do, and then what you learn how to do, that allows you to push past that little, that comfort zone and take that next step and grow. Now, very often, in order to be successful, and I guess it depends on how you define successful, but if you have to have a good paying job, sometimes you have to take what you're very good at doing and what you've learned, and maybe it's not the thing you love to do best, but you know that there's a market for that, because it is reality. And so you can be successful by going in one direction. But the thing is, never forget about what you're passionate about doing, because there are other things that you can do. So perhaps, to use a story, you're very good at playing an instrument, but you're never going to be a rock star or a concert, musician. But you can do a job where you use some of your musical talent. You get taught in a school to teach others, for example, or maybe it's composing music that you're good at. And so you find the job in the marketplace that fits your talents and what your interest is. But if you love that performing, well, do it on the weekends, or do it in the evenings, or do it for your community, or go to a rest home where old people are and perform for them. So you can achieve your potential and you can achieve success. Sometimes you go in different directions. Sometimes you can go in one direction and you're lucky and it all works out. But life, we have needs. We have to earn a paycheck. We have to support our families. We have to do things. So sometimes they're slightly different paths. But one is not less important. It's really important to do what you are passionate about in some area of your life, even if you don't get a paycheck for it. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yes,
exactly.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you. So in that point, Ahmed, would you like to add, please?
No, I think we talk much.
Okay,
but
I will come to you later.
I'll just make one request to everyone, that you all always worried about what one good thing you can do. Just, it's not maybe not in the relevant what I'm saying, but just think deeply yourself. Like, you see, this is the discussion we're doing. I believe we have given a lot of things that actually already stimulate you to take some action. So just one action I'm requesting to everyone, because somehow you all are connected with me, and maybe if you are not connected with me, do try to connect with me via this International Youth Festival fan page, or the Workplace Skill Development Academy Facebook page, or my profile, or Zanatun, and others. So my one request, do share this video. Try to spread this word to everyone, at least hundreds of your friends, to know how they can start believing themselves and overcome their barriers and explore their potentials. So this is my honest request to everyone, just to take one action. One share button can express this world to everywhere. Please do take action. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. So the next question again to Pallas. The question I already put on the display, that is, what need to be what we need to be a public speaker. Aryan asked that question to you.
So to be a public speaker is something that takes years. You have to be a good storyteller. But not only do you have to be a good storyteller, you have to give something to people that can change their lives. So you can entertain them, but you need to go one step further and make them think and make them feel excited about taking action to change their lives. Once you have a message, and that's what I'm talking about, and the storytelling, and you can weave them into a presentation, then you start telling anybody. You start with local groups and schools, and you just go and you offer your services for free, and you practice and practice and practice. As with anything, the more practice you do, the better you get. And then you start approaching organizations or companies and going to speak to the human relations department and say, do you hire people to come in and speak to your company for learning and development? So that's one option. You can also join clubs or organizations. I'm part of the Professional Speakers of New Zealand Association, and through them, there are lots of contacts. Or there are speakers bureaus out there, not in all countries, but you can also post on Facebook. I'm a public speaker. This is my message. What can I do for you? Contact me, and then see. And you slowly increase your fee as you go. But it takes a long time, and that's why I say it takes many years to perfect it. And then yes.
Yeah, thank you. So just tell me some of your struggle when you first initially come to this kind of presentation business or the public speaking business.
Well, the first, someone approached me and said, why don't you become a public speaker? I said, what am I going to talk about? I thought there was nothing about me, that was interesting. I didn't have, I didn't climb Mount Everest, so I didn't have a story like that to tell. I hadn't been through any particular trauma and overcome it. And so she had to get me to look inside and say, well, look at what you've done, moved all the way around the world several times, reinvented, and what's your philosophy? I see some questions on the side here and about reaching your potential, about being a good human. And if you are driven to do that, there's something you're thinking about inside. And so what you're thinking about, very often other people want to hear. In fact, what I say is if you have this little thought bubble over here, and there's a thought that you have, but you never dare to say it out loud, pop that bubble. Say it out loud, because that's what's compelling you. And you'll be very interested to see how people react to that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly.
It's really great.
So, is there any question more? Any more important question? I'm seeing that a lot of questions are coming.
Lots of questions are coming. Okay, the next question is asked by Mamun Hassan. He asks that at workplace, what are the key factors or elements that makes an employee with high potential?
With high potential.
Yeah.
So for Ahmed or for me? For me? Okay.
Let me start. Let me
You're
start.
going to go start. Okay.
Okay. You want to start? Okay.
Yeah. So the idea is to become successful in your workplace. You must have to have the humbleness. I think that's one thing I really matters is humbleness. Respect your colleagues, your superiors, and your who are working on, and then have the total commitment for your work. Whatever the time you are having, maybe the 8 hours or 10 hours, whatever the time you are for, give your 100%. That is the main thing. You 100% to the. It's not. Never think that it is you are just providing them. Actually, you have to believe yourself that actually this is an opportunity. Through that opportunity, you are actually serving many people's life, many people. So it is kind of blessing that you are being recruited or you are having the job or something. So, and explore your passion. That is very important thing. Explore your passion within the workplace. That what area you want to build. Because initially I started in the sales, then I went to the marketing, and then also look after the HR, and then gradually I move on. So if you have the diversify portfolio, but not just like a 5 months or 3 months, no, that's just like a solid diversify portfolio to lead the organization, then you actually climb up in the organization. So have your passion for the organization, give your 100% of the organization, but not sacrificing your family life, not sacrificing your personal development. So personal development always important. When we got a job or we having some employment, we forget about development. We forget about training. We never care about this training. So this is a very suicidal mistake we all do all the time, most of the time. I see my lot of people, we start all at the same time. But within 9 months, 10 months, I actually gone up because I take everything like it's my job, it's my passion, it's my business. Actually, that's the right question. I never consider myself that I'm an employee of this organization. I always believe myself, this is my organization, and this is the opportunity. I am helping so many other people. So this is from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Amin. So, Pallas, please add something in that point.
Well, first, the last thing you said made me think of a story told about when the moon, they were sending rockets to the moon from Florida at Cape Canaveral. NASA was sending rockets, and they went, a television crew went and interviewed someone who was a janitor. He was cleaning the hallways, sweeping and taking the rubbish out. And they said, well,
Yes.
what's your job here? And he said, my job is to help a man get on the moon, because he
Yes.
believed in the mission. And going to your first point, that humility is so important. I will tell you just a brief story. When I was a teenager, was on a television show in Saudi Arabia. My mother and father had moved there, and my mother got involved in a show called Small World. And I was given the opportunity of hosting this children's television show. And it was an incredible experience. So then when I came back to the States later in life and wanted to go into television news, I thought, well, I have this experience on TV. I should walk straight into a reporter position. That did not happen. I had to start way down at the bottom, and I had to go in early in the morning and play tapes in a machine with earphones on and no windows in the room. But what I did was I was willing to start from the bottom. I dressed, however, for the job I wanted, not the one I had. I was always looking for opportunities to help and contribute and learn more. And it was that willingness to learn and that willingness to take a job that might have been lower than I expected and work my way up that brought me to the success that I did. And I did become a television news anchor in Detroit and Sacramento. But I worked every job on the way up. And I listened and I learned and I used emotional intelligence. So that's an important thing.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Great.
So I'm not sure whether it is a good time to supplement, but the story is true. This is a very short story I want to share. When I went to UK for my higher study, I started my job in the McDonald's. So, and McDonald's, I have to clean, like we are 7 people from different countries. And so the manager asked each and everyone to go and clean the toilet. And everyone refused. But I take the opportunity, or I just say, okay, I can do that. I just clean and when I came back after cleaning the toilet and also the lobby, everything, and everyone just laughed at me. Oh, you are just like, you are shame. You just clean the toilet, and nobody going to marry you, and don't say that you back to your home that you clean the toilet in the McDonald's. And I just said nothing. For 1 month, my manager, he pushed me to work in every single department in the bank, in every sector, every corner. Including the unloading the goods from the truck, cleaning the parking lot and everything, all the hard job and also the inside job, everything outside and inside. After 1 month, he asked me to give me a letter that I'm giving you this letter to go to our London head office for a 3-day training program to become a manager. This is what you have to believe. So if you don't believe to start in the bottom, you cannot go in the top. Thank you, Pallas, for sharing your story. And this is my story.
And yours. I loved yours. Thank you.
Great.
Yes.
So I want to take another one question. It's from Kushnur Alom. She asks that, like, it's about the job interview. Like, during the job interview, sometimes she faces that interview asking that, what's your personal strength and weakness? In that case, how should she prepare to that, especially when mentioning the weakness part, that one she wants to know. So I want to start with the Pallas first.
Okay. This was what I tell people I work with. You look for a weakness that is a weakness. You know, there is a thought process that, oh, if you say I am too much of a perfectionist, that it's actually a strength that you're saying is a weakness. But actually say, no, I wasn't great at listening, for example, to my coworkers. And my boss told me you need to learn how to listen more. But I used that as an opportunity to go get some, personal development training, as Ahmed mentioned. Yeah. And I learned what active listening was. And then when I went back, I was able to do this and tell a story about the success you had after you learned how to make that weakness stronger, to strengthen it. And so you've got to be honest and authentic about it, but you have to show that you made it better and you took it as a learning opportunity to make it better. And then say, but of course, there's always more to learn. And that's a great way to answer that question.
Yeah, thank you so much. Ahmed, please.
No. I think no need to supplement. Okay. No need to supplement. Okay. Yes, I think it's fantastic answer. Yeah.
Okay, I got another question from Rajiv Adhikari. He asked that, what should we know better, hard skill or soft skill?
Oh, can I take that one?
Yes, sure. I wanted to start with you.
They are both equally important. because some people who are so incredibly good at their particular area of specialization and yet cannot have that emotional intelligence will not succeed. Very rarely do they succeed. In fact, I think studies show that it's the softer skills, and I don't like that name, but it is the softer skills that give you the tools that you need to succeed. Now, you can't just succeed on soft skills alone. Everyone needs training. But that emotional intelligence, being able to, and this is the key, put yourself in the other person's shoes. Imagine how that person is feeling, thinking, what they see. And if you can do that, you will be successful far beyond what you imagine. It's the most important skill that you can offer. But then, of course, you have to be actually able to do the job. So I think they're equally important, but I think emotional intelligence is critically important.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. So I want to supplement on that and giving another example that
Sure.
if you consider a car that has a beautiful engine, but without the mobile or the lubricant, you cannot move fast or smoothly. So the soft skill actually, when you must have the hard skill, but the soft skill will help you to move your engine faster, smoothly. So don't ignore the soft skill. Most of the time in many countries, they ignore the soft skill. They just only focus on hard skill. But to be honest, without the soft skill, you cannot go at a certain stage. So agreeing with Pallas that emotional intelligence is one of the top ranked soft skill that is you must have that, because that will actually help everyone to become successful and observe what other things happen, and then you can actually learn other soft skills to progress your career.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'm getting like lots of questions. Thank you once again, the audience. Please stay with us and keep asking the questions. So I want to come back again with another new question that is from Milan. He asked that, is attitude is most important in every sector in success? Is it the key factor of success? And with him, I just want to add another question that was asked by Fahim. He said that, yes, we for becoming the successful, definitely. What do you think that a good human being, that also most important, isn't it? So, Pallas,
Yep.
can you start with that one?
Attitude is very important. I loved Ahmed's description of the car with the oil to lubricate so that it moves, because you can get so far until that engine stops, but you can make it move a little bit. It's that change mindset, and that was what we both described, that mindset that says, okay, I'm willing to try this, I'm willing to learn, and I'm willing to fail because I'm learning something through trying. If you don't have a change mindset, you are going to be limited in your success. If you have a fixed mindset and you're afraid of failure, or you feel like you're so good and you don't want to try something new because you may be proven not as good, then you will be limited. In terms of, do you have to be being a good human being in the job? I think that ties into values. And values is, I guess you could say, part of a mindset as well. I personally have to do work that I believe contributes in some way to society. I did that in the news. I wanted to inform and educate and inspire. And when I felt I could not do that in the news anymore, then I changed my direction. I also had my family, and Ahmed mentioned this, 2 boys. I wasn't present for as much. So I moved to New Zealand, and I was able to really, follow that value, honor that value, and then find a new way to work. So that, I suppose, is a mindset or an attitude, because you feel that values are something that should be interwoven with what you do. And if you watch the program that I've submitted, I talk about how values are very important, because if you violate them, you feel that, and then you just can't move forward if you're hurting, if you're violating a value of yours. So I don't know if I've expressed that quite as well, but I think the idea is, again, as Ahmed said, like that engine, it stops if you've violated a value and you're not being a good human. You can only get so far.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you. It's
Ishad,
really great to
there's
know. Yes.
one question from Humayun Kumir. Can you just address
Yeah,
that
I
one?
wanted to take that one.
Okay, sure.
I just want to read it out first because he wrote so nice way. The question is: when storm appears, the captain of the ship had to make very sensitive decision that to offload some weight to save the sinking ship.
Sure.
Yeah, how to make decision which one to keep and which one to forgo. I don't believe in firing my team members, but sometimes sacrifices has to be done for greater goal.
Hmm.
So like
Pallas, first you.
Okay.
Pallas, yeah,
How to, because it is come because due to like the pandemic situation,
pandemic
many business
situation,
actually
yeah,
have to lay off their staff. So
yeah.
any suggestion, any opinion, any ideas?
Yeah, it's very challenging, and because business is business, it's about dollars and cents or whatever your currency is. It's about that bottom line. I was in a situation where I had a coworker who was particularly good at one thing, and then he had a personal crisis. He lost his wife, and yet he was not managing people well. So the company came to me and said, "What should we do with this person?" I said, "Well, I would say you're, not performing so well, and we have this situation. We need to make these targets. So either we keep you doing what you're doing, but bring you down in salary, and so that you focus on this, but you have a job, or we let you go and you find another place because we need a manager right now." And I said, "But I would wait because he just lost his wife." And they didn't wait. And it was painful to see what happened. But he landed at another place and was incredibly successful. So,
Excellent.
you have business decisions that you have to make. They are very difficult. You can do them humanely, but in a situation like this, it's a very, very challenging situation. I would offer as much on the way out, as much support, as much, as many resources as you can to help them get some help, career counseling, etc. But it's business.
It is hard.
And
It is
business
business
is
and
hard.
it is hard. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Thank you so much. Yep.
I'm just
Would you like to add
supplementing.
something?
Yeah, I'm just supplementing very few things. That first of all, obviously, I just request you to everyone to have a team discussion. Just explain them the situation, and whether if not the business, or we can say like if not the ship survive. So many people can. So if anyone wants to volunteer themselves to lay off from the business, or being in the business but not taking the honorarium or the wages for few months, or whatever way they can survive, I think that's the way, rather than just terminate other people. So you can discuss with your people and just ask them to support with the ideas, and then you all can make a good decision. I think that will be a good teamwork, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
and you hit on something. It's communicating. In
Yes.
situations like this, we need to communicate, because we
Yeah.
make a lot of assumptions about other people. That person who I described could have said, "Hallelujah, I really wanted to change jobs. Now this is my chance to do it." So
Opportunity.
you
Yeah.
never know. But by communicating, that's when you can get a two-way communication going. So excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
thank you.
Okay.
It's really great. So we must have to have that proper communication. And the next
Moses from
question,
Uganda.
yeah, yeah,
Moses from
he's
Uganda.
watching with us. Yes, he is
Yes.
with us. He said that Mr. Ahmed Bari, I have felt touched with your bottom story of cleaning. So thank you, Moses. Please stay with us. The next question from Dipta Shaha. He asks that sometimes we can't decide what to do and what not to do. Sometimes I think that this work is perfect for me, and when I would doing it, I enjoying it. But after a few days or month, I just fed up into this work. Then I think I need to move from here. What can I do now? So Pallas, please, if you start with this one.
Well, in the presentation that I give, I talk about how you can you can identify your particular strengths and passions and values and experience and education, and pull that together so that you can say, does this match? Does this position match all of these different layers of me? So that's a good filter. But there's another issue there, and that is, sometimes we're just wired this way to see something shiny and more interesting. And so we don't necessarily have that discipline to stick with something and see where it goes. And I think in our world today, with all of the entertainment and everything's 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds, or you watch something and then you're done with it, and what's the next new thing, that we've lost this ability to focus and see things through. Because sometimes it's, how does my husband put it? He said, if it's a job and you love to do it every day, they wouldn't have to pay you. They give you a paycheck because not every day you're going to love to do it. So, and stick with it, because if you're constantly moving, that's not going to look good. It's one thing to explore and be interested, but you need to take it far enough to see, actually, is this something that I could be good at? Or if I changed it just a little bit, could this become something that I'm particularly successful at?
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you, Pallas.
Thank
And
you.
just to mention, that's why your husband is a successful CEO and leading I know that, and leading the space program in New Zealand, right?
He runs an Earth Observation Institute, so he uses satellite data. So it's all very exciting. But it's a startup, and so he's out there trying to create new products, and it's stressful, and it takes a lot of focus. Yeah,
exactly. So Pallas, just before going to any question, I just want to ask you to show your book.
Oh yes, that's the special surprise for our audience, because she is going to show you the book that's written by her, and it will be
So here is the workbook, and this is the older version, and this one is available through this organization only as a PDF copy. And I'm very happy to share it with everyone. This will help, and these are the different layers that I'm describing, your different layers, your strengths, your talents, your passions. So that is available as a downloadable PDF. I've just shared it with Ahmed. Now, the exciting thing that I was hoping to announce is that I have a new book called Make Your Life Pop, which is easy, and on Amazon, downloadable as an ebook. But Amazon has some problem, and so they haven't been able to upload it in time. So I wanted to say, go to Amazon and download your ebook for free, because that was my special offer, but it's not up yet. So I'm going to give you this PDF. It will still be for free, so you can check Amazon and see if it's there, and it will be free for a few days whenever it goes up.
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you, Pallas. Thank you so much. So viewers,
fantastic.
see, this is what the International Youth Summit bring to you, or brought to you. That's the surprising, and we have, you can see that we have 39 impact speaker will join over the 6 months, and in between time we also launch another summit. You know that, and you will be. I hope that we can have another session with you, like this session. And it will be very impactful. It will be very impactful. Ishita, any more question, please?
Thank you. Yeah, I got an interesting question. Also, others from others also it came. So Shruti, she said that namaste to every beautiful souls. There comes some situation when you feel angry or when you can't control yourself while facing something, especially when you are giving a presentation on a certain topic and one of the audience asks a question which has no connection with the topic as well. How do you control your anger at that moment? How do you face that situation? Pallas, please, can you? I will ask you later. Later on. You will add. First, I want to
ask Pallas. Yes.
Well, I don't get angry, so I find that a little bit interesting. What you can feel is nerves, and you can feel you can feel lots of emotions when you're speaking. So everything is heightened, because again, this goes back to how we're wired. We're not wired to be standing alone with a spotlight on us. If you think about our tribal backgrounds, we're supposed to be with our tribe members. That's where safety is. So all emotions are heightened. So that anger that's flashing is because you're in an unusual and unnatural situation. So expect it. Expect that you're going to feel nervous or get angry. Breathe. When you feel that, breathe, because we're on stage, we don't breathe as deeply. And if you don't breathe as deeply, you don't get enough oxygen to your brain to think clearly.
Yeah.
Also, when you take a deep breath, it triggers the vagus nerve, which actually lowers the cortisol, the stress hormone. And then if someone's asking a question that has nothing to do with it, then you say, I hear your question. And if you want, we can chat afterwards about it, but we are going in this direction with this talk. And this is the relevant point that we need to focus on right now. But give them, I hear you, and it is a valid question, even if it really isn't, and we can discuss afterward. Because half the time, they won't come talk to you if it's not important enough. If it's really important, great, have that discussion one-on-one later. But you need to maintain control, because everyone's looking to you as the leader in that room to sort of control the direction of the talk. So validate it, make them feel heard, but you stay in control while breathing deeply. Amit?
Exactly. Yes, thank you.
Amit,
exactly.
please, if you add something.
That is the thing.
So this question came from many of the audience.
Okay.
So please,
Yeah. All right. Okay. So we can talk about this thing, and actually, this is what actually for this summit we also wants to focus on emotion intelligence. So when you become like your presenter, you have to control your emotion, because people might not agree with you what you are saying, or maybe they are not even connected with you what you are presenting. But still, you have to accept all the comments with your open heart, and you can think how you can improve your next presentation, or you can think about how you can handle this kind of embarrassing situation. And the one thing already Pallas said, that breathing is the best way to calm down your emotion or control your emotion, and so that you can have a lot of oxygen in your brain, and then you can think logically. So this is what the same thing I'll suggest to you all. Sometimes we do encounter, not only during the presentation, in many places we encounter a lot of embarrassing situation or embarrassing moments. All those moments, rather than we usually do react, but I always said don't react, rather act. So act is really important than react. And we just escape one important thing. I'll just come back to skill, knowledge, and attitude. Which one is important? Just giving you one simple idea.
Sure.
Just in English alphabet, you have one is A is for 1, and Z is for 26, right?
26. Yes.
Yeah. So if you measure all this count, the attitude comes, if you say A plus T plus T plus I plus T plus U is D plus E, it comes the 100, and rest are not 100. So always attitude is important over the skill and knowledge, but attitude is kind of a skill. You have to develop your attitude through your knowledge and skill. It's not comes suddenly, or you can build up your attitude, and it actually gives you the more success in your life. And this is another thing I would like to say. I can see that when we launch this video or the session, there's a huge number of audience, and then some already left. And if you are still here, I'm just saying you this, that you miss the most important part, that Pallas is going to give her book free. But I'm also going to give her, because she already gave it to me. I would love to give, but there's one challenge. I want to see that you share this video in your timeline, and then you ask me for that book. Then I give it to the book. Isn't that, Pallas? It's a good contract, right?
It's a great idea.
Contract. Yes.
It's a good contract, because we want to help other people, and whoever share this video, if you share and your friends also share, we'll give you that PDF also.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a great thing.
Ishita.
Thank you. So,
Yeah.
viewers, please, it's a great opportunity to get her book. So, you can share this video to your timeline, and ask your friend also to share in their timeline and win the book from Ahmed and Pallas. So, we will go to the next question. Next question was like, it was about suggestion for the youth, like to be an entrepreneur or working for. Sorry, what do you suggest to youth, to be an entrepreneur or working for others? How do you recognize? No, volunteering was the another question. So,
Okay, yeah.
like it could be related, entrepreneur or job holder or volunteer. How do we recognize our own potential to become a entrepreneur or job holder? So, Pallas, please.
Well, I've worked with a lot of people who are in the startup community, and I would help them with their pitches to try and get money to fund their projects. I really had high hopes for some of them, but they burned out. And Ahmed, you mentioned this. And I watch my husband. He has working right now in a startup, and he eats, sleeps, dreams, breathes this. I mean, it is really your life. We need people out there who are innovating and who are willing to, devote their time and their energy to whatever it is, this startup or business that they're running as an entrepreneur. But it takes everything from you. And so you have, and that's great if you're doing what you love and you're trained to do, and it honors your values and all of those things that I mentioned. That's wonderful because it can keep you going. You can go on and on and on. But you have to be willing to build your life around it. Whereas a job that you go to, you may not be able to impact it as much, but you will have more balance in your life. So I think that's really what's been the difference, is that some people, I thought they had great ideas, but they just couldn't keep going. And that's okay, because you just might be that kind of person that needs to have more balance. And that's more important. So there's no value judgment there. But if you're going to be an entrepreneur, be willing to eat, sleep, and breathe it. That's what I say. Ahmed, I don't know if you agree.
Yes, no, I totally agree with you, Pallas, because this is the way actually. So obviously, many youth also thinking about whether I should job or entrepreneurship or other things. So for me, if you have the opportunity to serve in any company, even as a volunteer, to learn the skills, this is what important. Like actually, this is I welcome all many. I actually give the opportunity to youth to work with us so that they understand the corporate culture, or they understand the office culture, they understand the office politics, they understand the office rituals, customs, and process everything, so that they can when they start their own business, they can do. I saw many startup because I mentor many startups as well as many young entrepreneurs. I found them they're not committed in a disciplined life. They wake up because they think it's my business. Whenever possible, I'll go, and they always think in the nighttime work two in the morning or 3 in the morning, doing all the business, and then later they wake up at 10 in the morning. This is not a good attitude for an entrepreneur or successful entrepreneur, because I have to start my career very early at this stage, because I lost my father at the age of 19, and then I have to struggle with finance, and then I thought I need to do something. And this is what I say, like discipline. If you have lack of discipline, you try to improve your discipline by working for any organization, so that your life will become disciplined, and gradually you can start your own business. And then why I connect the volunteering, because sometimes you don't need to be a strict, or maybe someone will not give you the job because they don't need you, they already have. So you can offer them that I would like to offer myself as a volunteer for you to learn the process, learn the culture, learn the politics and everything. So that's the way actually you actually grow, and then you can start your own business, or the experience you will have will help you to get better job. So always do this, involve yourself, give yourself volunteer to other organization.
Thank you, Ahmed. So viewers, definitely I hope that you are getting your answer, and if we missed any question, please can you drop that question again, because there are lots of questions and comments are coming, so those already went up and it's really hard to find out. So please, if
one question about the developing English communication.
Yes, that is one.
Pallas,
And another one is about the reading, like how to improve reading. Like the question came from Rohit. He said that how to improve your reading. As I am getting old, I started losing interest in reading and more interested in video. So how to improve the reading in that one? And
audiobooks.
Yeah.
If you listen to your books. And you can do other things, gardening or, household chores while you're listening. So you're still getting the written word, but just through your ears, not your eyes.
Yes. exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Alan
Yeah.
asks about the English program, the challenge of English, because
Alina, yeah. Develop
Alina,
English
sorry, Alina, yeah.
communication. Yeah.
So
She
tell
asked
us,
that. Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
reason I'm
Please.
saying that in many countries, English is not the first language, and so they face struggle with the communication and other stuff. So, what is your suggestion to them as a
Well,
native
I'm
speaker? As a native speaker.
Yes, and I realize that I'm privileged to have been born in a country that speaks the language that everyone is supposed to speak. So I have, however, tried to learn other languages, French and Spanish, and it's very challenging unless you are, immersing yourself in it. One of the things that I think, and I've worked with people. So, for example, I worked with a woman who wanted to be a public speaker in English, but English wasn't her first language and she wasn't well understood. And I really had to say, you either have to take a course and they have so many online now that you can, but where you are getting feedback about how you're speaking in order to become a public speaker, or don't become a public speaker. There's because the fact is people need to understand you. So you have to be realistic about whether it's a strength or a weakness. Some people are just better at learning languages, but you can go and find resources out there and practice. I haven't spoken French in 30 years. I met someone at a cafe who's from France. I've been meeting her for coffee for 1 hour a week to practice my French because I don't want to lose it. It just takes that practice. And the more you get it in your head, the better you will speak. If you're not good at speaking, then get another skill. If you're like a software developer, make that skill so good that if your language isn't fabulous, it doesn't matter. They want the skill that you have because it's not everybody's strength.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yes,
Yeah. Ahmed.
but yeah, exactly. Thank you, Pallas, for beautiful suggestion. And to develop your English, don't focus on accent, because I found many are focusing on USA or British accent, and they confuse what to do. And I'm sure that when you go to the New Zealand and to Australia, you find a different accent, and when you go to the Wales side of the UK, and they will find a different accent. So never focus on accent, but just to use the common words or simple words to make the communication easier. I'm sure that will help you to overcome the fear. I think the most important thing, you have to overcome the fear, and don't think that people are judging you about saying wrongly or pronouncing wrong with the English. So this is what you must overcome. And for everyone who are not, you have the English is not your first language, I'm requesting everyone, don't give up to watch these videos in English, because it takes our brain to settle down for 10 to 15 minutes. By that time, if you just settle down with 10 to 15 minutes with any video, then your brain start catching up the meanings of the video, the communication. So don't give up. Just stay for 10 minutes or 15 minutes to develop. Even though if you don't, still stay. Gradually, your brain will start communicating with the language or anything. So this is very important. You must remember this thing. Don't fear that you cannot speak English. Anyone can speak English.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. There are lots of questions. So the next question. Next question is, due to this pandemic, a lot of people lose their job, unemployment increasing, entrepreneurs having huge loss and suffering from huge psychological problem. So what can we do in this situation? For Mr. Bari, Indra Lakshmi, she asked that. So Ahmed, can you start this time, please?
So to be honest, last 2 months or 2.5 months, our business make zero money, but we never give up. The thing is, we know that every situation, we have to come up with the ideas. So the first, what we do, like for first month, I actually just enjoy the vacation at home, enjoy the vacation. And I had a lot of work to do. So I just finish up those work and start thinking now what I can do. So I'm requesting everyone, just watch this kind of event, involve with this kind of event, ask question, and try to learn the way we actually overcome. See, if I don't launch this International Youth Summit was supposed to be in Malaysia in February.
Yes.
But due to the pandemic situation, we have to cancel it, and also some other challenges there. And then we thought, like, okay, why not we just launch in online platform, so that many people can be benefited by connecting this. So this is what the change of ideas. And then when we are working that, I start learning the animation for my training video, so that I can design my trainings in an animation, so that more people can get engaged with that. So this is why you can focus on negative side, or you can focus on positive side. So when you focus on positive side, you find solution. When you focus on negative side, you find all the challenges, all the barriers. So it is hard, and that's why you need the emotional intelligence. When you have the emotional intelligence, by deep breathing yourself, giving a lot of oxygen in your brain, having a healthy lifestyle, and spending time with us, all the positive people, then I'm sure that you'll find out the way to survive the upcoming days. This is from me.
Yeah.
Pallas.
Thank you. Thank you. Pallas, would you like to add something?
Well, yes, because it goes back to the first point that I made about fear being so much louder than that little voice of belief inside of us. When bad things happen, we are overwhelmed with our emotion. And again, we are wired to see the negative. And we have to not ignore it, we have to process it, but we have to remember to move through it and come out the other side. And you do just what Ahmed said. You make sure you get sleep. You make sure you get good nutrition. If you can get it, find it. There are organizations that can provide it. Then you can start your brain working again and look for the positive. Because through this, we have so many free online trainings just like this that were not available before. So look for the online trainings. Use this as an opportunity to say, what's next? What can I learn next? And then think even bigger or wider. There are industries that are not surviving. Here in New Zealand, tourism in Queenstown is decimated. We really have very little chance of seeing anything like the tourism we saw in the past several years. People are going to have to upskill and reinvent themselves. So the agriculture that this country produces, they're going to start scaling up the agriculture. So people will have to really get new skills and be able to work by picking fruit and doing things like that, instead of working at a jet boat or in a hotel. So look at the future, look at the trends, what's working. If you have higher skills in the digital space, that's going to continue to grow. Push through, find a new way to use your talents and passions and values and go in a different direction. I always say you can't use all of the things that we're good at and we love and we value all at once. You have to use a different combination of them. That's what I did when I left TV news. I'm no longer speaking to a camera, except for tonight, but I'm using the interview skills, I'm using the storytelling skills, and I'm actually working one-on-one with people or live in front of audience instead of in front of a camera. So it's just a different, similar skill sets, slightly different path. So look for that. Look for where the signs are pointing that the future is going and follow it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
I'd just like to take one opportunity to thank you, Prothom Alo Bondhu Sabha. That's the top news portal or the newspaper in Bangladesh. They joined with their fan club for this summit as an organizer. They have become the part of the organizer, and they have a huge number of base of youth. And we have committed that we're going to support them, their skill development, because the reason I'm saying to everyone that I'm not unhappy that we don't make the business, because we made the business for last all this year. So I'm generous and I'm happy to serve for the community. So this is what I'm saying to everyone. And I already mentioned, Pallas, that we are going to have a world tour, maybe you and me to Asia tour, maybe not world tour, maybe the Asia tour. Also, I will pick Zannatun with us also, and also some other team member with us. We go to Malaysia, we want to go to Nepal, we want to come to other countries. So, and if you show interest, if you like this our sessions, please do share with everyone, and this will actually change. When you start change, if you just think, if you just hold one thing yourself, you cannot move. You have to take action. The first take action, just share this video and
Yes.
think your idea with your friends. Ask them to give the feedback on this video, and then we can work out on your, you will start your creative thinking or critical thinking. The more you push yourself positively, your brain will give you some more positive ideas. Thank you, Ishita.
Thank you, Amit. So we are almost near to end. So can I
Yep.
just take 10 minutes more from both of you?
It's fine
I am
with me.
okay.
My light is going. Hopefully, people can still see
Oh,
me. I guess it's just
okay.
slowly dying, but I'm
I
Okay,
pretty
see
the
you.
good.
last question.
We can see you. Yeah, we can see you.
Okay.
We
So
can
this
even
is
see
the
you in the
last.
dark.
So this will be the last question we will take most probably, because lots of people asking about the career and career planning. So they would like to know that what like when they should take the career preparation, and others are asking, do you think that it's important to make a proper plan for the career? So Pallas, please, if you start with this one.
Well, everyone should have a plan. But I think this goes back to a point we made earlier. Look at what you're good at doing. Look at what you're passionate about, what excites you. Look at what honors your values. And Ahmed has said several times, how can you serve others? And that's always what I say. How can you use what you do best to serve others? And then see what you can upskill in, what you can learn, and then try that. So for example, I knew I was good at communicating. I liked writing. I had evidence that I could present on camera. So television news was what I wanted to do. Now, when I went to do that, I had to go to a little school and learn how to use a camera. It took a little bit more education. And then I had, as we said, to start at the bottom and work my way up. Now, if I had gotten there and I found that, I work every holiday, I never see my family, and it really had not been a good fit for me, then I would have said, okay, let's look at what's next. Maybe it's public speaking, or maybe it's public relations. So you have to have a plan, because that's how you take one step after another. But it's a journey. When I spoke in Cambodia years ago, I had a chance to speak to youth summit leaders. And they said, I said to them, the topic was leading an extraordinary life, because I did a TEDx talk called Leading an Extraordinary Life. I said, your life looks pretty extraordinary. Here you are in Cambodia, but you're all excited, and you probably will feel, if you're not successful in 5 years, that you're a failure. But plans don't work that way. You can lay a plan and then find yourself going off the track. But again, you're learning. So make another plan and then come back and make another plan. And especially now with the pandemic and so much uncertainty, there's not much we can plan, but just take it in small chunks. This is what I'm going to do for today, the week, the month. And this is where I'm aiming to go. We'll see. But give yourself that structure, chunk it down, and then just keep adapting. Be agile.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
So,
So
yeah,
Amit, would you like to add that
yeah.
this
For
is
the
the
career
last
plan,
one?
I think when you start your university, I think from there actually you have to focus on your career. That's the typical Asian thing. But I still ask you to focus on the career. But it's a journey. Remember this: it's a journey. It's not the destination. It's a journey. So for me, like I start as a salesman, and then gradually I move to different branches and come back to my ultimate goal. So when you try different things, and every year you try to, this is again the biggest mistake most of the people do, that they don't upgrade their skill. They always keep, just remember that Facebook is updating, YouTube is updating, your mobile is taking update. Why you just sit back and have the old mentality? You have to update yourself. You have to think that, and by updating means you have to add something new in your life every single day. For me, every single day I love to add something new. I love to do. Just recently, just to share with Pallas, that about the Ramadan. That's why I said, right. So in Ramadan time, people cook. So I cook halim. I think the people who in Bangladesh, they know a beautiful recipe with the halim, and it is awesome. I make a lot of beautiful juices mixed with different kind of fruits. So the idea is, my passion is to develop my skill. I am a good cook. for a long time, but I love to improve my skill every single day. So whenever I do something, I try to say, okay, end of the day, I say, well, these are my improvements. So I am version 25 or 45.1. So I'm updating my version every single day. So this is why the successful people become more successful, because they actually push themselves to learn new things. Always they learn new things and try to maintain a good network with the positive minded people. And this is what I'm requesting everyone to join this thing. And the another thing, Ishita, I'd like to acknowledge our this year president, Subhash from Nepal. He is the Youth
Yes.
Summit president. I will upload his welcome message after this video. When you finish this thing, already John's video is in the Facebook, so you can try to learn, because John also focus on the career planning. And
Yes.
people think that after completing a job, I'm gonna get a job. So this is not happening unless you have a clear picture. But still, you have to be flexible, because you don't know why. Sometimes people are very much rigid. No, I'm doing this. I will only do this, and it will be suicidal. So you try to develop your skill and be flexible and open mind, so that you can adopt anything.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. So thank you so much to our audience as well. And we're really sorry if we didn't answer your question. And I saw that there are some questions relating the entrepreneur, relating to the EQ and other thing. So I'm happy to share with you that we will have another session tomorrow, with Mr. John. He is basically the expert of the emotional intelligence. And again, we will have another session, not tomorrow, later on, about entrepreneurship. So definitely, please keep those questions for that. Don't get disappointed. And yes, please, Amit,
Yes,
you would want to add?
we have two more sessions tomorrow. One is with
Yes.
the educational challenge you are talking about. There will be a fantastic professor from New Zealand, Weltec.
Yeah.
He will come, Peter. He will come to discuss about what are the changes happening and how you can adapt with the changes.
Yes.
It will be, we have two sessions tomorrow, and then I'm sure that Pallas will love to come back again. Isn't that, Pallas? Not this month,
Sure.
maybe next month, or maybe next month, because this session, this summit we are running for next 6 months, so that we can at least contribute at least more than 100,000 youth around the world. So I think
Yes.
this will be the best thing happen in my life. I'm really grateful to Corona to make this sudden idea become just like it's fantastic that we can, through the online, we can connect with a lot of people, and we are actually sharing our ideas with them, so that they can take one or two ideas and work on them and actually change and impact in their life. Isn't
Thank
that,
you.
Pallas?
Yes, and lifelong learning is what's going through my mind. You know, you talked about that being an important theme, and finding opportunities even when things look bleak. So this is an example of both, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it.
Yes. Thank you so much.
That's really great. Thank you. Thanks a lot, both of you. And definitely, once again, thanks to our audience. They're asking about the time. Yes, tomorrow we have a little bit change of the time. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Bangladesh time, Bangladesh Standard Time, we will be live with our first session about the education. And then second one will be at 2 p.m. Again, the Bangladesh Standard Time, another session with Mr. John. So, of course, the lovely audience, stay with us and keep sharing the video in your timeline and be connected. So before finishing this one, I just want to mention again our organizing partner, Prothomalo Bondhu Sabha. Thanks a lot for becoming our organizing partner, and definitely once again to mention the name, our radio partner, People's Radio 91.6 FM and Opola, our youth organization. Thank you, people, for being with us. And thanks once again. So we are signing out from here right now. See you all tomorrow again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.